Hi again, everyone. It's Peter Schwartz, Sports Bash at the Super Bowl here in Las Vegas, presented by TicketBash.com. We're here on Radio Row, and one of the great aspects of the Super Bowl, not only is CBS broadcasting the game, but Nickelodeon is doing their own broadcast of the game filled with slime and whatever else they do. But it's going to be Super Bowl 58, live from Bikini Bottom. The voice, the longtime voice of the character Patrick Star, is Bill Fagerbakke, and he joins us here on Radio Row. You want to say hello to us in Patrick's voice?
I hope no slime gets in the booth, unless it's delicious.
Awesome stuff. First of all, thank you very much for joining us here. I know your busy schedule, and there's so much interest. You know, Nickelodeon has done this a few times now with the kids-oriented broadcast. Aside from working on the show on Spongebob all these years, how cool is it to be a part of these football broadcasts?
It's beyond my. I could never obviously hope for something like this. I'd be a lunatic, you know. You don't hope for something like that. It just tumbled out of reality somehow into my lap when they asked me last year to participate in the Christmas Day broadcast, you know. And whoever had the nerve to think of doing it to begin with was like 4 years ago, the year of COVID, the first Nickelodeon broadcast. Let's make it fun for kids to watch an NFL game.
And I think you got some parents and adults along the way that actually like it too.
I think so.
Yeah.
Which I love to no end. I love the idea. Here's my fantasy of the Super Bowl Sunday. One parent somewhere walks into the room where their kid is watching the Nick broadcast, sits down, and doesn't leave. That will make me very happy.
Yeah, but they do a wonderful job. I think Noah Eagle is going to do the play-by-play. He's phenomenal.
Nate Burleson is the color guy. See, those guys started. They did the first one back in the COVID with the empty stadium.
Yeah.
They started then. They have such a good handle on it. They're so facile and smart, and they have a great sense of what our broadcast needs.
Right.
So we're in great hands. And Noah's hilarious. I mean,
his father, Ian, has a very dry sense of humor too, so you can see that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Oh yeah, he definitely benefited, from being around that vibe,
And for you, this has to be extra special because I know you're such a huge football fan and a Rams fan, right?
Since 1969, we won our first 11 games. We had Deacon Jones and Merlin Olsen and Roman Gabriel and Jack Snow and so many great players and George Allen as coach. I got hooked. I became a fan. I still haven't gotten over the Vikings beating us in the playoffs, who also ended our winning streak during the season.
Yeah.
That Joe Cap and Bud Grant and all that. Oh, man. I was hooked, you know, and I was like the generation of John Facenda, right?
Yes.
We got to have these incredible NFL, these poetic, lyrical things, you know.
Yeah.
The Packer running attack slashed through the soft underbelly of the Raider defense, you know, all that stuff. It was just so gripping and wonderful.
Does John Facenda ever have a conversation with Patrick?
Patrick, I understand you're going to be watching a football game.
Oh, you have such a neat voice. Will you say Patrick Star 3 times real fast?
What? Why would I do that? What's wrong with you?
That's awesome. We're talking to Bill Fagerbakke, the voice of Patrick Star on SpongeBob. The show has been so popular for so long. My kids watched it. So many, you know, it seems like it's everlasting, that the popularity just never dies out. As an actor, as a voice person, how cool is that for you?
You know, it really starts with how you interact with your work, right? And to do something as potentially just redundant as a TV series, and here I am 25 years later, I still love Patrick. Mm-hmm. Patrick makes me laugh. I'll be doing stuff as Patrick, and I just start laughing because I imagine Patrick doing that. You know, I feel like I got to give it up to my little inner 7-year-old who just kind of takes over and steers the ship, and then 3 hours later, I'm exhausted, and we have another episode.
And the funny thing is, I have two boys at home. They're 18 and 13, and they are constantly quoting SpongeBob, and they have these crazy YouTube videos that they download where, like, all of a sudden you're listening to a real song and then you hear something from the show on there. And I listen, it's pop culture. It's all over the place, right?
Well, and you're right, and it's hard to really fully grasp that.
Firmly grasp it.
It's hard to firmly grasp it, Patrick, because, part of it, I have to believe, is the show kind of ascended as social media took off. So the humor of SpongeBob, I think, kind of became ingrained to the whole meme phenomenon and all that stuff. So there's this entire generation that has really been affected by our show, who's really embraced our show. And that's like this incredible honor to be a part of that. I'm so honored.
And you go to any stadium, any arena, and there's a timeout and they play the theme from SpongeBob. It is one of the most popular things. You have 20,000 people or 50,000 people all singing the SpongeBob song, right? Isn't that great?
I was just at, what is that great baseball stadium up in Detroit where the...
Comerica?
Oh, yeah, I was just there and they did that. I thought, oh man, this is such a great moment. Exactly, 30,000 Detroit Tiger fans singing the SpongeBob theme. It was so cool.
So we have this little game going on Sunday that we've been talking about a little bit this week. It's Super Bowl 58. It's the Chiefs and the 49ers. So what I'd like to do, I've been asking everybody all week long who they like in the game, how they break it down. So I'm going to ask Patrick Starr, how do you size up the matchup, the Chiefs and the 49ers here in Las Vegas on Sunday?
Peter, obviously it's all about math. Football is all about math because when you score, there's different numbers. So you got to add them up right, and if you add them up the right way, you have more points. So let's see. Now the 49ers, they have numbers in their name, so maybe they're better with math. I don't know. I'm not good with math.
That's awesome. See, now I'm hungry because I'm going to go get a Krabby Patty after the show is over.
Thank you for your service.
I can't thank you enough for spending some time to join us here on the show, and best of luck with the Super Bowl broadcast and all the best with SpongeBob moving forward.
My pleasure. I'm a lucky man.
Thank you very much. He is Bill Fagerbakke, the voice of Patrick Starr on SpongeBob SquarePants. It's Super Bowl 58 live from Bikini Bottom on Sunday on Nickelodeon, in addition to the regular broadcast on CBS. It's Peter Schwartz, Sports Bash at the Super Bowl, presented by TicketBash.com here in Las Vegas. We'll be back with more the rest of the week, more great interviews here from Radio Row.